Well, look, I haven't even started yet. And there is a golf ball. Well, I had hoped that Simon would join me today, but unfortunately he can't manage. So I'll leave that one for him for next time. Welcome back to the carrot fields of Perthshire in bonny Scotland. And it is a beautiful day. It's overcast, a little bit of sunshine, but unfortunately there is rain on the way sometime late this afternoon. So I've got a full day, probably till about 4 o'clock, and it's just gone 8 AM. So I should manage a good 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours if the forecast is accurate. I am back out on the medieval church site that produced the hammered coin on the last dig, but it's produced all sorts, including double figures of hammered coins. And I'm actually on a new field. A new field. The field next door is the one that I did last time. That was the first time I was on it. But the field next to it has been harvested and ploughed. So I'm going to give it a go first, and then I'm going to head over into the field next door. And the great news is that the straw has all been ploughed in an attempt to try and get it to rot down. So I'm hoping the field next door is going to be the same. So fingers crossed, easier digging. So it is just me again today. I had hoped that Simon might be out, but unfortunately he's tied up. Not literally. So yeah, I've got good 6, 7, maybe even 8 hours worth. The field is looking in great condition, nice and flat, and hopefully easy digging. So as ever, if you're not already subscribed, then please hit the button. And welcome to all the new subscribers. I've just passed another milestone of 42,000 subscribers. So thank you all for the incredible support. Anything is possible today. We've had hammered, we've had milled, we've had Georgian. I mean, literally, I could turn up just about anything because the field next door that way, which I don't have permission for yet, has produced a few Bronze Age axe heads as well. So there's got to be something from that era around here too. So let's go and see if we can find some treasure. Bit of a slow start, taking almost 15 minutes. But we've got our first one. 84. A lot of iron in the background. A lot of iron. Oh, I don't believe it. We've got silver on the first hole. It is. Yes. Oh, you absolute beauty. What a start. Silver on the first hole. That hasn't happened in ages. Maybe George V, I think. What a start. What an absolutely phenomenal start. Well, I don't think it's going to be pre-1920 because it was, what, 83? Readout or thereabouts. Not in great condition. But that'll clean up. It is George V. His head clearly looking to the left. And it's a sixpence. Fantastic. 1921, we missed out by a year. 1920 is when we went to 50% silver from 92.5% in the aftermath of the Great War, First World War. And then I think it was 1947 that we faded out silver in our coins entirely. You beauty. What a start. Right, I'll dry this up, see if I can get some of the crud off, and I'll get back to you in a second. Silver on the first hole. What a start. Silver on the first hole. I think that's only happened once this year, and that was a George III sixpence or shilling that I got when I was out with Albert months and months and months ago. It might even have been last year. But it's 50% silver, 1921. George V, the spare. His older brother, Albert Victor, should have been king, but he died of influenza. And that thrust the spare to become the future king. So he ruled from 1910 to 36. Bit of a boring character. Did have quite a lot of time in the Navy as a young boy. I think he spent 3 or 4, maybe even 5 years sailing round the world as a young boy in his teenage years, and obviously went on to become king in 1910. Beautiful, a lovely start, silver on the first hole, hopefully a sign of things to come. My goodness, an hour and 7 minutes and all I've dug is silver in the first 15, then I got a tyre valve off a tractor, and now I was going to say a coin, but it seems a bit big, but it's definitely within the realms of a penny at 86. Well, I don't see anything yet, so maybe not a great big chunk of aluminium. Well, something there, and it's, well, what is it? Oh, there's something there. Oh, it's a buckle. Well, that's not bad. That is not bad at all. At least it's not junk. Right, let's get the wee towel out. Zoom you in a touch. Is it decorated or is it plain? It's a bit of a slightly unusual shape, which makes me think it's maybe... Is it maybe not horse related? Well, what do you think? It's slightly curved. That's where the pin would have been there, and you can see the little indentation. It could be a shoe buckle. It could be a shoe buckle, it's got that right sort of shape to it. What do you think? My guess would be Georgian. Sort of 17 into the beginning of the 1800s, but what do you reckon? I'm going with shoe buckle. Doesn't seem to be decorated, but I can't see any trace of gilding on it either. But it's still a find. It's been slow in coming, but I'm happy to find it. Let me know in the comments below. Well, I'm pretty much back where I began. That is the gateway entrance into the field, and I started by heading off in that direction. This is a big field, it's about 22 acres, and I've done a full loop all the way around the outside edge, zigzagging around looking for hot spots. It's been very quiet, but practically back where I began. 94, 95. Could it be another silver? Could be Georgian copper, but it could be a lot of other things as well, including the dreaded aluminium this close to the gateway. Oh, it is, look, it's a big sheet of aluminium. No wonder it was a good signal. There you go. Ah, nightmare. Stainless steel or aluminium. It's a thing. Let's call it agricultural. Ah well. Well, we might have got a wee bit more of a hot spot, because that's a couple of signals I've picked up just in the last few minutes, albeit they've all been junk. Lead, quite a few bits of lead, which is always a good sign. I think we're out. We're in there. So practically it was on the surface. More junk, I think. There's something there, look at that. It's maybe a button. Possibly a button. Let's see, it's quite baked in there. Could be a dandy button. It is a dandy button, I think. Well, that's the first dandy button I have had in ages. Absolute ages. See if we can straighten it a wee bit. No, it's pretty solid. I'll give it a wee brush. I think it'll be a plain one. Sometimes they were gilded, sometimes they were decorated, but this one just looks plain. There's a wee dimple there, which is possibly where the shank's been. So it's a dandy button. A fashion trend in the Georgian period, around about sort of 1780, 1800 through to maybe 1820. A young-heeled young men called the dandy boys, and they would wear these oversized buttons, often with bright waistcoats and jackets, so even though they were relatively poor, they tried to dress up, make themselves slightly stylish. So there you go. So from the late 18th into the very early 19th century. Possibly the oldest thing yet, but maybe contemporary with that buckle as well. So, not bad. At least we got there in the end. After I found the dandy button, I just noticed, see all these big stones here? And they're kind of in a sort of elongated, slightly rectangular shape. I'm making my way over towards them, just in the off chance it's an old building. This was, well, it was as high as 1991, but it was also given a little bit of an irony tone. And right there is either a dandy button again or a coin. And it's a coin, I think. Yes, it is. Possibly Georgian. Let me get you back in the holder. Zoom you in a touch. Maybe a wee imprint? Oh, no, not really. Well, kind of. That looks like a Georgian coin to me. Oh, it is. Look at that. Good detail already. That is a halfpenny. It's almost certainly going to be George III, so contemporary. With the button. There he is. I can see him. So you know the drill. I'll let this dry out. I'll get the bendy thumb on it. We'll see if we can get a date. Fantastic. Coin number 2. It is definitely George III. You'll see him fading in with the legend Georgius 111 DG Rex. And just down here at the bottom there is a date. And it's 1806. So it could well be contemporary with the dandy button. And I'm going to have a good scout about this area, seeing as there's a possibility that there's been a building here at some point. 2 Georgian finds. So that's what you've got to do with these fields. You've got to sort of zigzag around, try and find a little bit of a hot spot. I know people like the Hoover boys and such like look for iron patches, but to be honest, in Scotland there's iron absolutely everywhere. So you just have to zigzag around a new field, look for hot spots in terms of any kind of finds, or maybe where people had lunches, and hope for the best. But you'll see Britannia there, sitting on our little rock, and that's a lovely coin. Half a penny, 2 pints of beer in 1806. Not bad at all. Fantastic. Always nice to see you, George. Okay, possible hammered. 65. A few people were saying what the hammered coins normally come in at. Well, on the Deus 2 on the Jethro programme, I've had them away down at mid-40s, 45. But I've had them away up at almost 70. To be honest, I'm expecting possibly a button, maybe a little bit of copper. But I'll take a hammered. I've got a clod. Let's get the pinpointer, stick it in between my legs. Somewhere in there. And there's something round there, look. See that edge? A button, I think. Please be a hammered. Well, it's kind of some green going on there, so it's almost certainly a button. It's not a coin. Oh, it's domed, is it? Oh, that's not even it. That's a stone. I've just thrown it away. Did anyone see a hammered coin? What a mess I've made of that. Right, it's in there. And there it is there this time, look. That's definitely it. A piece of copper. So there you go. Purpose unknown, but junk. No hammered. Oh well. Well folks, I've decided to leave it there. I've got a couple of unexpected errands that have come up that I'm going to have to do. So I've cut the digging short at 4 hours. Just over the 4-hour mark. So all in all, well, I'm not complaining. I was expecting loads and loads of targets, and the fields were so quiet, it was unreal. I think I dug less than 10 holes. in 4 hours. But not the longest of videos, probably going to be 12 or 15 minutes long, but well, you can only find what you can only find. So let's have a wee look at the best of the finds. That is the best of the day. I've had a little look in my junk pile and I dug 8 targets. So 8 targets in just over 4 hours. One of them silver, the other one an 1806 halfpenny of George III, a potential shoe buckle, which could also be Georgian as well, and the dandy button, which is definitely Georgian. So 1, 2, possibly 3 Georgian finds in a day. And then we got another George, albeit a later one, 1921 silver sixpence. At the time, I'm afraid we were up to about 10p a pint, but it's a half pint. So always good to get silver, even if it's only 50% silver. And can't seem to go a day digging without getting my good old friend Gorgeous George. So there you are, not bad at all. Well, any day that you get silver is a good day. To get it on the first hole is incredible. But yeah, I mean, a couple of nice coins. George III from 1806, 1921, 50% silver sixpence, plus the little buckle as well. Nice finds. And of course the dandy button, the first one I've had in ages. Used to get them almost every single dig we used to go out on. We used to get dandy buttons, and I think probably the first one I've had this year. So all in all, I can't complain. So I hope you enjoyed the video. If you do, give me a thumbs up. And if you're not already subscribed, please support the channel and hit the sub button. That would be tremendous. So hopefully I will see you all on the next dig, which might well be tomorrow. So take care, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.